Hi, Linda.
Hi, Sam. How are you?
Good. How are you?
I'm good, thanks.
You came at the perfect time. We were just finishing introductions. So do you want to introduce yourself and your pronouns?
Sure. I'm Linda, a Time Bank member. My pronouns are she, her, and hers.
Great. Thank you so
And
much.
I'm
So
just
glad
going to be able to observe this time because I didn't get my stuff together, so I'm going to learn how to do it.
Great. Yeah, that's definitely okay. I barely got mine ready and I hope it's correct.
I did watch that video though that you gave us the link to. That was fun. Really
It's
fun.
easy. It looks easy. So hopefully we can all do it. Okay.
I'm dangerous with an immersion blender though. I can get it all over the whole house.
Oh, I know. Yeah, I had
There's
to
a
do
trick
like
to those.
Great. Well, I think I'll go ahead and hand it over to Beth if you want to go ahead and delve in. I think, Beth, you have like an agenda and just let's see where we can start.
Sure. I will show the pretty agenda I made and keep it moving. We did introductions already, so it looks like that happened. And next, a little bit about Beloved Community. Does everyone here know what Beloved Community is already? Do you want this spiel, or have you heard it like a lot of times already? No? Okay, I'll go ahead. I'll go ahead. So we work with adults with intellectual and developmental disabilities to build community is the short version. I think we do a lot more than that, but building community is definitely the main thing that we do. I don't know, Kay, do you want to add anything before I start talking about Beloved Bowls?
I think that was perfect.
Okay, cool. And we're an organizational member in the Time Bank, and we decided to do Beloved Bowls. Well, so I got this Beloved Bowl from Kay, and it was so cool that, and relatively not hard to make, that we decided that it would be a really cool present to make for our Patreon donors, which is something we'll be launching somewhat soon, but we decided it would probably be a good idea to have presents ready for Patreon donors, which is, Patreon's a subscription service, and a lot of artists use it, nonprofits use it, basically just to support their work, because I think we all know it's hard out here to do a lot of the work in the financial sense, but not in the creative sense. So that's why we're making them. And then next is on to making Beloved Bowls. I think I have something specific else that I made that was pretty. There we go. Why I make Beloved Bowls. I went over the Patreon part. Oh yes, it's fun to do together. I've thoroughly enjoyed, even though I've mostly been like making them myself, like at night, like just with my cats yowling around me. It has been really fun to do, and I think it would also be something fun to do together, which I feel like, Mikhail, you and Aaron, it seems like you've already started. Yeah, with the smiles, I'm gonna say yes to that with us. So it's fun. And then also just a shout out to, we're being eco-friendly when making bowls because we're making it from recycled materials, and yay for helping the environment.
So basically it's to help you all with fundraising efforts to continue the awesome, amazing work that you all do. So if we could keep these bowls, and if you want to continue making bowls, and maybe not the first one, I don't know, we'll see how it goes. If we continue making them, just hand them on over to the Beloved Community after, and they can hand them out as gifts to the people that donate. So it'll get people donating more to their projects. So yeah, so let's see. So who plans on participating today? Is there anyone, can anyone like raise their hands for who has the supplies and is ready to participate? So it looks like Mikhail. Randy and Joseph, do you have all the stuff, or are you just going to watch for today?
For today.
Watch.
Sounds good. So, and I think most people are going to be watching, which is cool. And then Mikhail and Aaron, is there any prep that you need to do? Or are you ready to start going? Ready? Awesome. Okay. So we went ahead and I don't know if you all saw the YouTube video. I had sent an email and sent out and put it on social media, the post of the YouTube video. But if you have not seen it, I'm going to go ahead and put the link in the chat just so everyone can see it for later. Save it in your favorites. So you're able to do it later. And of course, people on the phone, I can go ahead and get those to you. And while we're at it too, it looks like we have John Hamilton with us. Is that correct?
Yes, I'm here.
Great. And John, in the past for your pronouns, he and him is good, right?
I'm a male.
Okay, perfect. So again, people on the phone, I'll go ahead and get you this link later. It just explains how to make these paper mache bowls. And I just put it in the chat too, so everyone can get to it and save it as their favorite for later. So everyone that has made it before, or that wants to participate, I instructed that people watch up until and 13 seconds in the video because it's pretty self-explanatory, that part. So everyone can get up to that part, and that's where I am in my process too. So we'll start from there. Beth, should we just share the video, or what do you want to?
I have the pulp here. I could like show what it looks like in the camera, but if that, you can also do the video if that's not doesn't.
Yeah, I mean we could do both. So
could you all possibly start like a little earlier in the process for those of us who aren't participating in making it? Like, what do you start with, Beth?
So, oh, this might be like step 2 because I put it in the blender already. But you'll take shredded paper or ripped up pieces of paper, pop it in your blender, about I guess yay high with water, covering all of your paper strips, and it's with hot water, and it's recommended to let it sit for up to 24 hours. But I have heard that like it should work with an hour. It's just the longer it sits, the more the better it works for some reason. Science, I'm not really sure. That's what they say. So that would be step 1, 2, and 3 maybe.
Mm-hmm. So again, it's any shredded paper, non-glossy paper is the big thing. So so I just use a whole bunch of, I use these notepads a lot in my house, like just for, it's my memory because I don't have one inside my head. So I just shredded a whole bunch of these and I let them sit overnight in hot water. And then I put all of that in the blender. And then I blended it up and then I squeezed out the water, and this is what you should get. So it looks green because it was combined. It had black writing on the yellow sheets, so it turned green, which is cool. So you can kind of mess with the colors and everything. But yes, so this is where it's at. This is called your paper pulp for it, and this is after the blender. And you can use a handheld mixer even. I use my food blender, should be okay. I know Beth was saying she has her own craft blender, but I think it's fine, it's just paper. So yeah, blending it up like this. And then also the video, so you can either have glue or use, make your own glue and like paper mache paste. And this is honestly just made from flour and water. And the reason mine's brown is because I used whole wheat flour. But most of it, if you could see in the video, I'll go ahead and share screen so you can see. So this is what it looks like when they let it soak. They could do it in the bowl, and then they used a handheld mixer like that, or yeah, a blender. And then let me show you what it looks like as far as the paste. So that's what their paste looks like with the white flour. And then, so what you do is do 1 cup of flour to 2 cups of water, and then put it in the microwave 30 seconds at a time. And it turns into a paste, like really crazy paste. And then that's exactly where we stopped. So in this video, they haven't squeezed the water out. So I've already done that in mine. So you squeeze the water out and then you combine it with the paste. And you do about 3 parts of the pulp to 1 part of the paste. And we'll go ahead and start doing that now. And is everyone able to see pretty well this video and everything? Okay, because I didn't check that box. So she's just saying it's 3 parts of pulp to 1 part of the paste. And then again, she's squeezing out that moisture. And then she just combined all of that together until it's done. So I have a lot of paste for my pulp. So I think I'm just gonna go ahead and do that now. And then from there, it's not much else to do. Beth, did you want to add anything to that while I start putting my pulp and paste together?
Sure. So I'm also gonna throw them in there, but pretty much I know they're all fancy and they use a spoon, but I definitely just get in there with my hands, mix it around, and it kind of comes out like an odd bread dough because it's like floury still. And then after that, should I not move on to the bowl part, or?
Yeah, you can go ahead and people can just watch me on the screen. And if you're on the phone, what I'm doing again is adding paper pulp that I had prepared the night before to, and let me go ahead and stop sharing my screen so you can see me bigger. And I'm just adding the paper pulp that I have, about 3 parts to about 1 part of the paste. And I'm gonna make it until my paper pulp is gone, just like it was in the video, and just combining it. So it's very sticky, is basically what I'm doing.
Yes. Sticky part.
Gail and Aaron, are you at the same point as Beth and Sam?
Yes, we actually started a little early, so we had about 6 bowls
Wow,
to do.
Yeah.
So we've already done 4.
I didn't
nice.
make a lot because I was like, how big of a bowl do I want? And
I made it with the tiny one, and it came out like pretty well. That's the cool thing. All shapes and sizes.
Nice,
Yeah.
Aaron.
yeah, you can use any shape or size or anything. That also begs the question of just like picking your bowl. It'll depend on how much paper pulp you have. I think they'll add a little bit more, it seems like to me.
Okay, here you go.
And then when you're ready to put it on your bowl, you're gonna use some like plastic wrap, so it's easier to peel off whenever you do it. But that's a later step. Just another thing to keep in mind. So it seems like I'm gonna have a lot of paste compared to paper pulp because she had just thrown out a generic ratio whenever she did the video. It didn't really say how much paper she had or anything. So it's better to have more than less, I guess. And I guess I can figure out a way to recycle this this paste somehow. Maybe I can use it as a meal if I pick out all the paper that has just fallen in there. So it looks like I'm almost done already. If you can see, it's really, really sticky.
there, Sam and Beth and Mikhail and Aaron, is there sort of a magic, like, is it super forgiving? Like if you have a little too much paste or a little too little paste, will it still work?
Yeah, definitely.
It
I
is,
don't
yeah.
have any exact proportions. I just smush it in there.
Okay.
I would feel,
Yeah.
I mean, in my, like, I feel like if you have a little bit too much, I feel like that'd be better than not enough, because if it's too much, it'll just stick together more, you know? So,
On the video, they actually did a couple bowls with no paste.
oh, really? Yeah.
And then the only difference is that you have to be careful when you take them out because they're fragile. And then you can just coat them with glue or whatever. So it will work even with nothing.
Yeah, it's just
so I don't think
sturdier,
that-
right?
Yeah, so I don't think it's a big deal if you have the
How do you
exact
get
ratio.
color in there?
What was that?
How do you get it to have a color?
Oh, so that's what so I used a different color of paper. So let me show
Oh,
you
okay.
what I used. So that I used something like this.
Uh-huh.
Because of the black on it, with the yellow, it actually turned green. And then I used whole wheat flour, and because it turned brown. But usually it's going to be like a yellowish with the flour.
Ours is gray with rainbow speckles.
Yeah, what color is yours, Mikhail?
Well, it's, this is the, I don't know if you can see it, the, that's the paste with regular flour. And the bowls are kind of,
Pretty.
have different colors in because I shredded a bunch of construction paper to add to it.
Yeah.
Not a lot, but just a little bit to put in some other colors.
That's awesome. Okay, so I have my mixture all ready to go. So everyone on the phone, I basically have a big ball of mashed up paper with paste on it. And the paste is made from flour and water that you microwave for about 30 seconds at a time. And then what I have here now in my hand is just a plastic Tupperware bowl. Just simple, like you would use for leftovers. And what's covering it is a piece of plastic. Because Beth was saying before, it's pretty important to have the plastic on it, or else it's really hard to peel off whenever it dries. So definitely have a piece of plastic on your bowl. And again, this is just excuse me, simple, small bowl that you can use. And now I'm going to take from that bowl, or from the ball that I have, the paper mache, and you can either smush it on the inside or on the outside. Today I'm going to do the outside because this is such a small bowl. It'll be tiny if I put it on the inside. So I'm going to smush it on the outside. And you're just molding it to the bowl. And just oh, is that Ozzy? No?
Sophia, David.
Oh, no, I thought that was Ozzy for a second, Linda.
Go see Mama.
No, I actually had to mute because it was Ozzy a little while ago.
They have similar barks. That's funny.
Uh-huh.
I wonder if they're similar type of dogs. And if you could see, I'm just smushing it all around the bowl.
That's yours for me, babe. Thank you.
Oh, yeah.
I have a mush and I have one from the same mold that's dry. It took like
Look at that.
I'd say over 24 hours, but I'm sure like if you wanted it to dry faster, you could like blow dry it or something. But looks about the same.
That's really important, right, Beth? I remember saying in the video, like, how important it is to let it dry, or else it'll just ruin the whole thing, right?
Yeah, I took mine off too early before that, and it was just a crumble. It just,
Yeah, so you definitely, so that's the only part of this that you'll have to do is just let it dry. So right now I have mine, and then I stamped it bottom kind of a little bit, turned it over just so it has a good bottom part so it lays flat, and just kind of looking around it to see if there's any cracks or holes that might have come up. Someone's mad.
So, Erin and Mikhail, would you want to show any of your bowls at all since you've made them? If you want.
Erin did a special one. She did a great big one.
What?
Whoa.
Wow.
Beautiful.
That's huge.
Oh my gosh, Erin. Was that in like a pie plate or something?
It's a little server plate that I found in our cupboard, and I thought it would be a cool bowl. So.
Oh.
And then Mikhail, did you play with the colors at all? Like, did you specifically pick certain colors to blend with, or how did you do that?
No, we were doing more shapes. I mean, I have the plain, just shredded paper, and then I put in some construction paper. But we also have a couple of these bowls, they're square on the edges. And so that one, we did 2 of those. There's Erin's.
Wow.
That's awesome. Yeah, so
And then we did
or you
other
two
little
chose
tiny
to put
ones,
it on
like we did
the,
a little tiny one.
yeah, and you chose to put it on the inside, which is cool. So you can do either one.
Yeah. We did all of them on the inside.
Mhm.
On the video, it said if you put it on the outside, the one thing you have to be careful about is not letting it dry all the way. Because
So
then
this is mine.
it shrinks slightly. So then when you try to get it off, it'll break.
Yeah,
So I
so
thought, I'm
hopefully
just gonna
that.
go on the inside.
Mhm.
I had a hard time getting mine out of the inside.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Even with the plastic?
I didn't use the plastic.
Yeah, I think that'll
with-
This
save
was a few
it.
weeks ago.
With the plastic, it looked like you could just kind of unwrap the plastic and then lift up.
Yeah, it makes good sense.
Mhm. Yeah, because at first I was thinking, it's not going to hurt the bowls. Why do you need the plastic? But yeah, it makes sense because it lets you get out easier.
Yeah.
So I got my bowl all ready, and now I'm just gonna let it sit. It looks kind of funny right now, but
It's gorgeous.
Avocado. Guacamole all over the outside.
Yep. So we'll see.
Kind of not the most pleasant color ever.
Right.
It looks like guacamole.
Right? Doesn't
That's
it?
what Linda said. The avocado.
It can be a guacamole bowl.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be hilarious. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
And then from there, you're gonna let it dry. It might, again, at least 48, or was it 24 or 48, Beth?
I think it said 24, and then that's what I did until I took mine off.
Mhm.
It was pretty easy. You can see right from There's also the decorating part, which I haven't fully done that for anything, but definitely there's opportunities to get creative. Like, I was going to put glitter in, but I forgot to do that. Put so much glitter in and get it all over my kit.
That would be cool too. Well, do you want to go ahead and look at the video, Beth, you think?
Yeah, I think it's
I think that'll be fun because it's a cool video. So here is where they're just putting it on the inside of the bowl. Let me make sure.
Hi guys, so it's been about a week. You can see I've been off.
So she said about a week, so it just depends. So.
Already with the bowls, but that's because I couldn't resist it and I wanted to have a go and it was dark, so I couldn't film this and I had to show you, and it's all very exciting. So it took about a week for these to dry. Now you can see the color of this is a bit sort of off color because that's the flour or the homemade paper mache paste. If you used white glue, this would have a pretty color and look like this, okay? But as I'm painting mine, I don't mind. Now I wanted to tell you two things. One is, so the paper mache paste works really well, super solid, but it changes the color. What happens though, however, is, and I didn't realize this, it's really interesting. When I made this one on the outside, it actually shrunk a bit whilst it was drying. So getting it off was a bit of a task. So you need to keep an eye on it, and you need to get it off just as it's about to set. So it's a little bit soft, but not too soft, because otherwise you will break it. So that was actually a bit tricky. What I do recommend, even though I really love this shape and I love how smooth the inside is, what I do recommend, because it is a little bit easier, the inside bowl also shrunk a bit, and I could just do this and then carefully peel off the foil, or not the foil, but the plastic. So I think the inside bowl is a bit better, but what's quite fun about doing the inside-outside bowl is that you can get different sizes that way, okay? The other thing I want to tell you, and I'm not going to make this video really long and boring, but I did want to tell you that if you wanted to do this version, what was really interesting about this one is I did this one similarly. I think it was on this bowl actually. I don't know which one it fits on. Maybe it was on this one. Yeah, so I don't know which one I did it on. But I did this one without any glue at all. So once it was dried, it came off and it was very fragile. So it does work, but then because it was too fragile, I was worried, how can I use it as a bowl? So I took some glue, some normal PVA glue, and I just painted the inside and gave it a layer on the inside and a layer of glue on the outside. So if you don't like the feel of this with sort of glue in it, you can just use the paper on its own, just squeeze out the water and mash it on, but beware, it will be fragile and you will have to put a layer of glue on afterwards once it's dry to give it some strength. And then when you paint it, it will obviously get a little bit more strength as well, because the acrylic glue paints that I use give it some structure. Now this is the end of our how to make a bowl from shredded paper how-to. I will link somewhere below and in the iCards how to paint them into fruit bowls. I'll show you how to paint this one into a watermelon. So
Awesome. So you all have the link pretty much. If you need the link, please let me know again. But it's in the chat, and again, you can let me know. So if you have the link, there's a link at the end too if you want to learn how to paint them too. So that's pretty much it. And just as a reminder, these are for like kind of to help Beloved raise some money for the awesome projects that we do. Does anyone have any other questions at all, or?
I have a question for Beth. Beth, you held up a couple times a bowl that looked like it was already finished, and it had specks of colors in it. Was that from, yeah, that is so pretty. Does it have construction paper in it or something like Mikhail did?
I'm guessing so. This is actually not one that I made.
I can answer. I actually wanted to tell y'all about that because I made that for Beth's birthday, but I had our friends from Beloved Community write on paper things that they loved and appreciate about Beth, like all kinds of, you know, that she's kind and she has a good laugh and she's thoughtful, all these kinds of stuff. And then I had them tear them up. Which everyone was like, what are you doing? But they did it. And then that's what I used to make the bowl. Sarah and her mom used colored paper, and that's where the colored specks come from.
It's beautiful. I love that.
Thanks.
Yeah.
And then was there like a special technique that, or Kay, that you like made sure that the specs were like, did you make sure they're in a certain, because they look like organized almost.
They do. Yeah.
Well, my sister did most of this. So the specs you put in after you make the stuff in the blender, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Or maybe you could even put it on here. Like now that it, maybe you can like put like, again, like glitter or something at the end. That'd be cool.
So.
You know what? Golly, now I don't remember.
You know, okay, it looks like when we made paper, like just the paper mush and the screen, it looks just like that, but that it got formed. And then this side's glossy, and I think this side got sealed with like Mod Podge or something.
I did do that, and I didn't know. I'm wondering now if I shouldn't have done that. I mean, it's on the outside. I don't guess it matters.
I think it's cool. I assumed that it was holding it together though.
That's, I just thought, I don't know why I put it on there.
It looks pretty though. It
I
has
thought it
kind of a
needed a
glossy
thing.
look. It's pretty.
Yeah, it gives it a different look.
Mm-hmm.
So are the bowls somewhat like watertight, or no, you wouldn't put anything liquidy in there, anything you would need to wash the bowls with for, right? Just for dry things?
Right.
Unless someone finds a good sealer that they want to share with everyone that like
Yeah.
make it, but I don't.
And non-toxic.
Yeah, if you put a sealant on it, you know, you could at least do something, but for the most part, they're more decorative.
Stanley, did you have something to say about that? I heard a grunt from the sealant.
No, it sounds good.
Or do you think that, because I know you're pretty handy, do you think like what would be like non-toxic to like seal something? No?
Well, right now I'm doing bills right now. I'm sorry.
No problem. No problem at all. Nice.
Well, Elmer's glue says non-toxic on it. I guess you could dilute it if you wanted to and use that. It dries clear.
Yeah. Well, that's another good point, actually, Linda, because I saw in other YouTube videos that they actually use glue instead of the paste.
Okay.
So maybe experimenting with that and see the different textures or something. That's why I put it as an option too in some of my posts, just in case people don't have flour or just have a limited amount of supply. But it'd be cool to experiment and see how it comes out, because I mean, some of it is just like chemistry, which is cool. Well, it looks like we have about 15 minutes left, and I know Beloved has another awesome project going on right now. Did you want to talk about that, Beth?
Yeah, I can definitely. So we have a photos and perspective project we have going on. And also, spur of the moment, it made me, this reminded me of it because I've been keeping, this is how I've been making puppy stars by like the bowls and then like throwing them into my thing. If I have time after the presentation, I can show you how many puppy stars have come out, because
That's great.
Yeah, that'd be awesome. And then letting everyone know what those puffy stars are too. I think some people weren't there for that one.
right. But I'll do that at the end since we have active project going on right now. So let me just pull it up.
I'll be right back. I'm gonna go get my puffy stars just in case.
I did a project with bowls that are very similar to these, but we used them for plants. So what we did is that we added an extra layer of glue on the inside of the bowl to kind of make it watertight-ish, you know, so it's not super super vulnerable to the water or for the, you know, damp soil. And then on the outside, what we did is we used liquid nail to glue rocks on the outside, and then we just used the what do you call it, the grout that you use on tiles, and just covered it up. So it essentially became this outdoor flower pot. It was a really neat project. It was fun, and it was very, very, very similar to these bowls.
That's cool, Louie. That's a good idea. Yeah, there's so much you could do with it, especially if you just Google it and YouTube. You could just go on a rabbit hole of like different ways to make these and different ideas. It's really cool. We just picked the simplest one with all that. And then I have like a balloon laying around too. And I was like, what if like you could make a huge bowl from like a balloon, I feel like, unless it deflates over time. But I feel like that'd be cool because I've seen it with like desserts and stuff. People dip chocolate. Has anyone ever seen that?
I've seen that.
Yeah, where you could like dip chocolate and it's like a huge like chocolate bowl. I feel like that's cool for like these paper mache bowls too. I was walking over there.
That would be cool. Yeah, I think we just chose, I just want to read it. We only chose bowls just because we thought it was the simplest and everyone would probably have a bowl. lying around. But I mean, if there's any other crafts that call to you and you want to make them and donate them to us, we would be happy to take those too.
But it's funny you're talking about wrapping balloons and paper mache. For my son's 5th birthday, I made them piñata, and I was just sick and tired of seeing all the superheroes being a piñata. I'm like, why do you want to beat up your own superhero? You need to be beating up the bad guy, And so instead of actually doing Spider-Man, I ended up doing what's the other guy? Venom. I did the head of Venom, and I gave all the kids little Spider-Man masks. So it was an adventure. It wasn't just a regular Mexican piñata tradition. It was, all right, Spider-Man, there's Venom, get him. So it was so much fun.
That's a good idea. I like that idea.
Nice spin on a tradition, an old tradition.
Yeah, that was great.
Paradigm shift.
Right?
On a very small level. Okay, Beth, if you want to go ahead.
Okay, so this is our Photos in Perspective project. Let me just get it. This is just a brief overview of what we've done so far. Our Photos in Perspective project, we're doing with Jim Rogers specifically. He is going to make, after all the photos are collected, he's going to make some kind of collage or collaborative piece at the end. So the general purpose of the project, this is just like a overview of the flyer. I won't read all of the flyer, but I do have links to it at the end if anyone's curious. The purpose of the project is to contemplate the isolation that COVID-19 has brought upon us, what it's taught us, and specifically how it relates to the disability experience of isolation. So looking at our experiences now, seeing how they might be similar or not. There's 3 parts to this project. The first part, we did so for the first 2 parts, we did the corresponding Tutorial Tuesdays. So we have Tutorial Tuesdays and we've just paired them this month with the photo project. So we've gone over them and started doing those photos already, but you don't have to come to the event specifically to participate. Just make sure that you say which photo, like which part you're capturing when you turn in the photos. And we're going to be doing that so the next 2 Tuesdays of this month will also be about this project as well. Oh, right. Part 1 is about, actually, I think I have it. Oh yeah, part 1 is about photos that capture what it's like disconnected, isolated, and alone. Those were just a few examples so far. Part 2, we just went over, so I don't believe we have any photos yet, but this one is about photos that bring comfort and strength. So whatever that means to you, whatever that looks like. And then part 3 will be about photos that inspire hope and a positive future. So those are the 3 photos, and here's some additional info. All photos would be sent to the Beloved Community Project email. Jim Rogers is making a collective piece at the end. There's 2 more events, and then there's links to the event and the photo project post here, which I can just copy and paste and put that in the chat. If anyone's interested.
Nice. And I know Kay had a couple. Do you have those handy by chance? It's okay if you don't, but if you're comfortable sharing any of those that you had submitted from last Tutorial Tuesday, it was really cool. People just shared theirs and they talked about what it meant to them. Yeah, I know Some of them were super cool.
Beth, where will we be able to see the finished product after Jim does the whole collaboration?
I believe we'd probably post it on Facebook. Okay. You're muted.
We'll be exhibiting it as well. I don't know where yet. It's possible it will travel. And ultimately, we will likely auction it. Oh, I know where my photos are. One second.
And also, can we maybe talk about, like, I know it relates to just feeling isolated and everything, but like, how does it relate to the beloved community? And how does COVID relate to how people in the beloved community feel, or just like how our community in general feels?
Just 1 second. I'm putting the other stuff in the chat real quick. Hold
on. I mean, I don't know if my pics are on my other computer, but Beth, if you wanted to put it back on that one slide, I could talk a little bit about a couple of those pics that I took.
Okay, I'll do that.
Yeah, that one. So the one where the stairs are going up just said to me, you know, that we've got an uphill battle here. And we've got some work that needs to be done. It also reminded me of, well, what it said to me is that it's inaccessible to someone who has mobility issues or uses a wheelchair, for example. Because as I was paying attention to images in my community that reminded me of isolation and disconnectedness and loneliness, I reflected on what it must be like for people with disabilities who are constantly barraged with messages that say, you're not welcome, we don't want you, go away. So as I was going around, that's when I found, you know, I was really started opening up my eyes to images like that. So that's what the stairs mean. The beware sign, that's a beware of dog sign, I think, that I came across, and it just kind of speaks danger to me and speaks to my fear related to the COVID virus. The one down on the bottom, second to the bottom, if you look, I'm looking through a chain link fence at an empty swimming pool facility. And I came across that during one of my morning walks in the Alameda district, and just felt really sad, because during any other time on a hot summer day, I would have seen children and families playing together and laughing and splashing and having fun and being together. So that was a sad image for me. And then the one at the bottom with the little mini bottle of empty bottle of vodka. Some of you know, and some of us have talked about how there's a rise on alcohol consumption during this time. You know, people are using it to cope. Maybe that should have been in phase 2. I don't know. But those are what those images said to me.
Thank you, Kay.
Yeah.
Yeah, thanks for explaining that. And again, so basically there's 3 phases, and you just find pictures. And then I noticed that, like, after I knew of this project, I just started seeing it all around me, and it made me feel a little more aware of my feelings and could identify how I was feeling because I was looking for it, which is pretty cool. I don't know if that was actually something you all wanted out of this project, but I think it's a really cool, like, side effect of doing that.
Night.
Yeah, definitely.
Oh, go ahead, Kay, sorry.
It definitely helped to broaden my perspective on like the outside messages, but then that helped to kind of reflect on what my own experience is and how I'm processing this experience.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
We would really love for other contributors, so no matter where you are in the country, Catherine, you're welcome to take pics and send them in so that they can be included in the story.
Mm-hmm. And Stanley, if you wanted to take pictures, we could definitely make it happen where we could pick them up or get them developed or something if you wanted to use a disposable camera. So I'm sure all of us would be able to help you with that. So just let us know if you need that.
Okay.
Great. Well, we have about 3 more minutes left. Is there any other announcements that Beloved would like to make, or any other community members?
Yeah, I'd like to make one.
Okay, go ahead, Stanley.
I'd like to be able to see each and every one of you face to face again instead of over the phone.
We miss you so much, Stanley. We feel the same exact way. And I swear, the minute we're able to, and it's safe for everyone, we'll definitely have a party at Daku for sure. And everyone's invited. And we can give you hugs in real time whenever it's safe.
I'm with you on that one, Stanley.
Stanley,
There you go.
Sharing that, every time I talk to you, you share that sentiment, and it really makes me feel closer to you and closer to everybody. And knowing that you're able to voice that, I really appreciate it because it's hard. It really is hard.
Oh yeah, but the fun part about it though is when you do get out there and you do see people and you get to share things with them.
Yes. Very true.
Thank you, Stanley. I think Beth had an announcement too, right, Beth?
I just wanted to show my star progress. I'm working hard to make it to 6,000. I won't tell you how many are in here in case there could be some kind of guessing game that happens in the future. These are how
Oh
many.
my God.
Whoa!
That's amazing.
So far.
And and just so everyone knows, this is what they are. Like, that's full of these tiny little things. And what are puppy stars again, Beth, if you want to quickly just let everyone know?
All right, so the goal is, like I said, I'm not going to tell you how many are in here, but the goal is to make it to 6,000, each one representing a person that's on the DD waiver waiting list. So 6,000, and it's approximately, I think, 13 and a half years now, okay, that they're waiting? Yeah, so just to bring awareness to that, I didn't know about it.
And then Beth, real quick, what does DD waiver list stand for? What is
Okay. DD waiver is the developmental disability waiver. It's to receive services related to your disability. And 13 and a half years is an unacceptable amount of time to wait to get support for your life. And I know that before I joined Beloved, even though I had been around the system before and work-related things, I had no idea that it existed. And I think unless you're connected in some way, you wouldn't know it exists. So I think the more people know that it exists and that it's something that's happening to people and very much affecting their lives, and that is the reason that the Beloved Community started, which I could go into a whole thing, but I know we're ending. But that is the reason that Beloved Community came about. It's really important. So spreading awareness about that is what we want to do.
Mm-hmm. Well, thank you, and thank you, Kay and Beth, for all the wonderful work you do. And we love collaborating here at DACU with Beloved, and it's always a fun time when we all get together too, and we appreciate everyone that shows up. It's so much fun and also brings awareness to really important issues. So we thank both of you for being here for United Friday, and it has now come to an end, unfortunately. We can talk all day, I'm sure. But other than that, I hope everyone has a good weekend. And we'll go ahead and end like we always do. We'll pick a word, clap 3 times, and leave from there. Does anyone have a word today? Well, actually, I usually ask the host. So, Beth, do you have a word today? Not to put you on the spot. Beth, okay. A word that we should end on.
Actually, yes. Stanley inspired me. Community. I think community.
Yeah, I like that. So I'll count down from 3, and then once we get to 1,
everybody needs to unmute.
Yeah, let's unmute everyone.
Tess.
Hear everyone. Good call, Kay.
Unmute, Tess.
There we go. Okay, so 3, 2, 1. Community. Bye, everyone. Thanks for coming.
Bye.
Everybody.
Bye.
Bye.
Good to see everybody.
Have a
Bye,
good one.
Catherine. See you, Linda. Bye, Stanley.
Bye-bye, all.
Bye.
Bye, Randy and Joseph. Bye, Tess. Bye, Linda.
Bye, everybody.
Bye, Stanley.